welcome back to Studioloo. It's Cindy, and today I'm here with part 6 of the Wishes and Weeds make-along for a traveler's notebook. So it's pages 9, 10, 47, 48, and 7, 8, 49, 50. So again, I'm making 2 journals. So I've made my prototypes for my first journal before this video, and I'm really finding it like very relaxing to just kind of make along one with Nancy and then make another one for a video afterwards, so I can just kind of share what I'm doing. So if you're doing this, and I recommend you do, because it's actually a lot of fun. And yeah, I recommend doing 2, because why not? It's like really nice to just be able to, instead of pulling 1 page of something, pull 2 and you make 2 journals. It's actually really fun. So for part 6, the first is pages 9, 10, 47, 48. So for this one, you use, let me just disassemble a patterned scrapbook paper that has been tea-dyed. And I just quickly tea-dyed these this morning. I didn't have any tea-dyed scrapbook paper. So I just thought, well, I'm making breakfast, I'll do that too. So I did that. And then, so for page 9, you're going to attach this a vintage document. So I forget what Nancy used, but what I have, what I found is something that's been kind of hanging around my desk for a while, which is this pattern for Argyle socks. And I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it initially, if I wanted to like you know, just use it in a journal or collage with it. But I actually want to look at the pattern too, because I'm kind of intrigued about like how it will work, because it's an old pattern. Yeah, so that's what I'm using as my vintage document that I'm going to just pop on here. I'm just using a paper clip. I'm actually rusting some paper clips right now, so I'll probably replace all of these with some rusty ones just because they're nicer looking. Then on this page, which is 47, you're going to add a fabric tab collage with buttons. And so I used just a piece of yellow fabric and just this little piece of lace here and a little leaf button. And I did some nice stitching of like a flower and leaf pattern. And then what I did on the other side is I added a button. I stitched through both, so you have a button on each side and you don't see your ends. And then I just, for the final end, tied this little knot and left the strings long. So that is that one. So let's get started and do the same thing again. I'll grab my supplies for the other one. So my paper is this one. Again, I just tea-dyed it this morning, and it's from a Shibori paper pack from Michael's, actually. My vintage document is this. It's the back of a poultry ledger. Basically, that's what it was used for, but it was like a really old notebook from the 50s. So I just want to see how this is going to fold, if it might crack. No, it's not going to, because it's actually the, oh, maybe it is. It's actually the back. Yeah, it's actually okay, though. It's a little bit delicate. We'll see. I might Mod Podge both sides of it, because I don't want to lose this cool writing on the back. So that will be my document. But like I said, I might Mod Podge it. I may actually have to trim it a bit too, but we'll see. Because if it doesn't stick out, I probably won't. But if it does, then I will. I'll trim the top if it does. So let's just grab a paper clip. This would be my pin cushion coming to visit. Okay. So we'll just clip that on there because we know that we need to do that. Then I have the fabric for this stuff and the buttons. Let's move the rest of the supplies out of the way. Okay, so the fabric that I've chosen for this one is this nice green kind of twill fabric. And I don't need all of it, so I can trim it down a little bit. Just kind of roughly, because I'm not using fabric scissors. Then what I'm going to do is just put a little bit of glue stick glue on the back. I'm going to be stitching this, so it doesn't need to be like enduring glue or anything. Oops. Okay. Plunk that down, give it a little press. fold this over here. And we want it to stick out a little bit because it is a tab. So there we go. I'm just going to set my little buttons aside here. And I'm going to need the sewing machine. So I'll move these papers out of the way. Move my board over. One of these days I'm going to have a setup where I don't have to always move my machine back and forth. I can just swivel back and forth with my camera. One day, someday. All right. Now I just want to lay this piece of lace on top, kind of. I'm just going to zigzag this one. So there's that. Now we need to sew buttons on. And I need a smaller needle, I think, to get through one of these buttonholes. Let me see. Yeah, I do. Okay. Well, let's just start with this one. Oops. I have a very fine little hair stuck on my finger. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to tie a knot. I'm using this big fat embroidery floss, but you don't need to. You can obviously use sewing thread. That's probably the preferred method of the sewers out there, but I'm fine. I like the visible kind of mending look to things. Okay. I'm just going to put 2 green buttons here. Oops. I think that's all the buttons that I need, actually. I'm totally fine without that little white one. And I am going to trim this paper, I've decided. It sticks out too much. Okay, now I'm just going to tie this off here. And I'm going to leave both of these a little bit long, and I'm not going to tie them together. I'm just going to let them hang kind of like that. I like it. Okay. Take my bitty bitty button and just put it over here. It'll come in handy later. Okay, so that's that. Now let's go ahead and get the paper trimmer for this. And I might just, I don't know if I'll trim maybe some of the crackly bits off the edge. You could go over this whole thing with Mod Podge if you wanted to just strengthen it. Like a matte Mod Podge. Okay, now let me look in here. Okay, so yeah, I'm going to lose a little bit of the writing, but I really just want to trim this up because it weakens the whole paper when you have these crumbly edges, because the tears just get bigger and bigger. They just keep ripping and it's no fun. So we'll get rid of those. And then in lieu of, you know, not wanting to take forever to do this, but also because I'm a huge lover of everything relating to bees, and I have this beautiful washi tape. I'm going to reinforce this on both sides with this honeybee washi tape. And I know this is like sacrilegious to people who are like restorers of old documents and things, but this is going to be used for a journal, so we already reached the point of desecration, so don't worry. It's well loved. It's going to be well loved, and it's going to be around for a long time. So yeah, there's lots of ways to pay homage to things, and this is mine. Okay, so we have another little crack there I see, and just in the spirit of the same kind of like mending and like, yeah, we're just going to put a little piece here too. You could use like vintage like cellophane kind of looking tape, or you know, whatever you want, but I'm pretty happy with this washi. I like it a lot. It's actually my recurring washi that I use with my journals that I call my Moonbee books, and it's the recurring washi tape that I use for all sorts of things. So if you ever get a book from me, you'll probably see some of this washi tape these days hanging around in there. Okay, so that is a much stronger document now. And where did my paper clip run away to? I don't know, but we have about 1 million of them over here. So we'll grab another one. So this should fit nicer now, which it does. Good. So that is this one done. We've got our document here and our fabric tab with buttons. So now I can just set this aside. Then for the second one, where did I put it? Up here. Okay. So it is pages 7, 8, 49, and 50. 7, 8, 49, 50. And what it is it's a long book page. So let me just take all this stuff out first here. So basically you're stuffing it with 2 pieces of vintage ephemera, and she had originally said 3, but she changed it because she put 1 piece of vintage ephemera on this side with a tag that we make. So I'm doing the same thing. So I'll just set these aside while I talk about this. So this is a long book page. She used like a more vintage looking page from like a royalty kind of book. I'm actually just using scraps from another project, and I love this book page. It has a toad, and I don't know if you know me, but toads are my favorite animal in the whole wide world. So also I just absolutely love this illustration. It's beautiful. I'm happy to use it in my own journal. Then what you do is once you fold it in half, you actually take a paper punch, like a hole punch right here, and use it as a guide to trim down the 2 sides of these pockets. Then you use your corner rounder to round the corners. Then you're going to glue this side, this side, this side. Well, you don't need the bottom one, sorry, just the 2 sides. And then you've created 2 pockets. So then you're going to stuff them. So I did that. I inked around the paper just to make it fun. Then you take 2 pieces of like vintage ephemera for the pocket, for this side pocket. I'm choosing this old wedding photo from 1956. It's a legitimate photo of this lovely couple, and this little, looks like a little church. And that goes in there. And then this is just a cutoff from a really old book from like the early 1950s or late 1940s. I can't remember. But yeah, it goes in here too. So they just both will go in here. Then for my other piece of vintage ephemera to go behind my tag, I'm using this from the Village Weaver. It's a long price list from like, this is probably a store from the 70s, I think. And it's her price list for all of her different like linen, cotton, all of her wool. So all of her different yarns. That's the word I'm looking for. So that's going to pop in there. And then we're going to make a tag. So for my tag, I actually just, for this journal, used up an existing tag that I had that was collaged and has some lace on it. It's just got botanicals kind of mishmash collaged on it. And so in the spirit of using things up, that's what I did. The tag that Nancy made, she did she had a like a more vintage looking kind of tag that had been collaged with different kinds of book pages, and then she snipped out of a magazine some different like vintage looking things, like a vintage lady's shoe and that kind of thing. So we can do some of that with the other journal. Then she added an eyelet to the top and a ribbon. So that is prototype. So let's get started. Let me grab my supplies. So I have this magazine, this Weldon's Ladies Journal, and maybe we can find something for the tag in this. I pre-made a tag. I'm actually going to use one of my woven paper tags that has been crazy quilted. So I just need a focal point. So she used some lace and she used like a piece of an advertisement. So I'm going to just grab something out of here. Just find a page that is nice. You can use like advertisements. Oh, those are cute. The corsets. Oh, I could look through this book forever. It's so nice. Okay. Old Dutch cleanser. Oh, those are nice. It's so hard to use these books. They're just gorgeous. Let's see though. We're gonna find something, probably like a little advertisement. There's the Queen. Okay. Just need something small. A lot of these things, I look at them and I see like a journal card, so I don't want to like cut it. Oh, I kind of like this coupon for a vacuum. Yeah, okay, let's do it. Don't be afraid, guys. These books would eventually fall apart and go into the earth, so let's use them. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take just this Hoover vacuum cleaner part. Try to use as little of the paper up as I can here, so that we save the rest of it for another project. Then would I want to include this too, maybe? That might be kind of cool to just include the Hoover part at on the tag too. Okay, so let's set this piece aside for another project. Then grab the tag here and we'll just kind of snip around this. Sorry if you can hear the elephants upstairs. I run an elephant sanctuary in my living room with a 4-year-old and a 1-year-old. They're actually my toddlers, but you wouldn't think that. You'd think they were elephants. Because that's what they do. Okay, so this will fit perfectly on here without those little symbols that say by appointment at the side. So let's just snip, snip. Yay, that's awesome. Okay, so let's get the glue. Okay. There we go. So that's on there. Then I'm going to stitch around it real quick, and then we'll add an eyelet to the top. we go. Now, a little bit of ink might be good. Just, maybe a little more. Oops, I'm gluing my book page to myself. Let's just get rid of this. And I know I'm kind of doing this page a little out of order, doing the tag first, but that's okay. If you want to do it another way, you can. I think everybody knows how to make a tag, so it doesn't require a whole bunch of guidance. There we go. And I will just grab an eyelet here. And my chomper. Smooshed. Hold on, I have to do that again. Every now and then you get a bit of a sharp spot that still stays. I don't know if it's these eyelets. There we go. Okay, that's done. But yeah, you don't want anything sharp. So I usually, whenever that happens, I just kind of take like something flat like scissors and just make sure it's really down. It's not going to be sharp. And I am like the queen of getting cut by things that should never cut me. I think I just got a little bit of paper in there still. There we go. Okay, now I just need a ribbon for the top or something like that. And I have a little piece of seam binding, and I'll use that, I think. Maybe we'll tie a bow. And to keep your bow in place, you have a couple of options. One, you can double knot it, which is what I'm going to do. So I make my loop a little bit longer than normal. Or you can use like a dot of glue. Art glitter glue will work. Fabri-Tac will work. Just to keep your bow a bow. But I'm going to just double knot today. And then I'm going to just snip these off at an angle. There we go. Okay, so the tag is done. That's going to be part of our project. So now let's work on the pages themselves. The page itself, I should say. So again, take a quick look at prototype. It's a long book page, and we have to fold up the bottoms. I got another page from the same book. I'm keeping it keeping it interesting. So I really love these children dressed as ravens. I think it's awesome, and so I wanted to use that. Now I just am going to use my prototype here as the guide as to where to fold this, just so I get the right length right there. I definitely recommend, if you're making a journal like this, this traveler's notebook, please make yourself a guide. It's so much easier than trying to like always have to measure exactly like your measurements. Okay. I'm gonna snooze this. Somebody is wandering around in front of my house. That's because we have a little free library. And there's usually people going to it or like wandering around. Okay, so then what you do, I think I mentioned earlier, is you're going to unfold this, and then right here where this crisscross meets, you can use a hole punch of whatever kind of hole punch you have. I have this big chomper. I'm going to use the large hole and just center it there. Then I'm going to live dangerously and just cut up, meeting the hole on both sides, like, I don't know, maybe a centimeter out, or like, I don't know if that's like, I don't know what it is in inches, guys. It's this big. So then you've created now 2 pockets. So next thing I want to do is some inking. I'm not going to use the vintage photo on this one. I'm going to use this yellow amber color, fossilized amber. And this paper is a little bit shiny, so it takes the ink really interestingly. I like it a lot, how it kind of just marbles around. It does stick though. It doesn't come off, which is nice. It's this is distress ink, or distress oxide rather. Distress oxide. Oh, and then I forgot a step. So the other thing we want to do, let me put my chomper away. We want to round the inside corners of the pocket. So that'll just kind of make everything come together better. It's like pamphlet-ish. So let me just, sorry. Okay, there we go. So that's inked around, done. Now we have to glue the pockets up. And you could choose to do a thumb hole if you wanted to right here too. Just using my art glitter glue. Okay, and then up. Let's wipe off any excess glue, which I usually have because I am a heavy gluer. Okay, so now we have the pockets done. Done and done. Perfect. Okay, let's see if am I doing anything or am I forgetting anything? No, we just have to stuff the pockets now. So, okay, so we know we have this tag. It actually goes in this pocket, okay? Now, let me get the ephemera I chose for this book. So, I had another cut of that same old book that I like. I'm going to pop that in here. My glue's still a little bit wet. I'm just going to wait because I don't want anything to stick. That's one thing about making journals. The other thing I'm putting on this side is this adorable old photo. Actually, I have 2 here. Let's choose one. This little boy and his dog. Let's go with this one. This is so cute. I think these are from 1956. I bought a whole like photo album of this like adorable little family, and this is a cute little guy and his sweet little dog. It looks like it's like I don't know what kind of dog. It looks kind of like a dachshund, but it's got like the long hair of an Irish setter, and it's like a very small dog because this is probably like a 2-year-old. So it's really cute though. I love vintage photos so much. And then the other piece of ephemera that I'm using is a letter that's been typed from 1971 to Mrs. T. Palvio. And it's about a parcel of Rhodinlanca and Regiolanca. I think those are kinds of yarn. I now enclose a check in the amount of $55 to cover my earlier order for Takenalenka yarn. I believe this amount should cover the order and 49 cents owed against your invoice number 67. When this yarn arrives, I should have sufficient stock to keep me busy all winter, along with working at Pilkington's, and probably the next time you'll hear from me, it will be a Rodenlanka order for spring fabric weaving. There never seems to be sufficient time to achieve what one wants to do, but that's the way it goes. I was able to demonstrate at the CNE. I belong to the Toronto Spinners and Weavers Guild for one evening, and there seemed great interest in the craft of weaving, and many questions were asked, only some of which I was able to answer. I've passed your message on to Ina and Jack, who are very pleased to receive it. Kind regards. So yeah, this is a lovely letter. I don't know, I think I mentioned earlier, I have a lot of like old documentation. I have lots of old weaving books and magazines because a woman who used to be I believe the treasurer of the Toronto Spinning and Spinning and Weaving Guild. She was in this role as like a secretary or like the treasurer in the 70s, and I inherited her entire like weaving library, all of her weaving supplies, her samples, as well as her looms. So it's a very lucky, wonderful find for me. Sometimes I'm just, sorry if you're wondering, I'll just stop gabbing a minute. I'm just evening out my pockets a little bit because sometimes your glue comes out a little too far. And just running a ruler carefully underneath like this, it gives you a straight line for your glue. It opens up your pocket. It makes sure any excess glue kind of gets wiped away. That's why you see little bits of glue here on my ruler, my plastic ruler, and that just makes your pocket a little nicer. It gives it more space too. So anyways, yeah, but I have all these treasures from this wonderful man who, when his wife passed away, he had posted on, I believe, Kijiji about this stuff, and you know, he was very choosy about who it went to, and we had a nice long conversation, and I told him, you know, I'm a weaver, and I have plans to teach, you know, kids to weave. I have lots of things, and I would love to, you know, at the time I thought I was just getting the looms, and then he gave me everything. So I will do justice by using her beautiful things in this way and treasuring them. So there we go, guys. That is everything, I think. Let's just make sure. Long book page. Yes. Bottom pockets, hole punched. Yes. Round the inside corners. Make a collage tag with a vintage focal point. Oh, and lace. She had lace on her tag. I don't think I'm going to add any to mine. You can. If I were going to, I would add it up here so it's not in the pocket. But I think I'm actually really happy with how my tag looks. We did the eyelet. We've got the ephemera. Yeah, I'm good. So there we go. We've got these two done. And so this one is the other one that we made. So it is the, which is which? This is the inside one. So this goes here because it's 9/10. Yes. Then put this on here. And then this one goes inside here like this. There we go. And then I'll just grab the journals. Okay, so here's the first one. Plunk this on here. My journal is getting super chunky. That's okay. Okay, and then this one. There we go. All right, so these are the two journals. Good to go. And I think everything is the right. I always check the measurement to just make sure nothing's too tall. I think we're okay. All right, so these are getting very chunky, but you know what? We're almost done. We're at page 7. So I think, you know, we've got probably, what, 6 pages to go, then a cover. So they'll be totally fine. All right. So let's move these out of the way. So that's my video for today on part 6 of Wishes and Weeds Traveler's Notebook Make Along. All the information will be linked down below along with my social media information. So thank you so much for joining me again. And don't forget to subscribe. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you're taking part in this challenge or if you like Traveler's Notebooks, if you'd like to see more of them. Anyways, thanks. Bye for now.